Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Caboose bringing you another Marvel Games video, I guess you could say, because today's topic is not about Marvel's Avengers, it's not about Spider-Man PS5. Today, we're going to be talking about a Daredevil game potentially being teased. Now, of course, before we get into everything, I wanted to ask you guys if you could leave a like rating on the video as it shows your support, and I would really appreciate it. So if you could leave a like, that would be awesome. And with that said, well, let's jump into this. So late last night, Troy Baker quote tweets something where somebody was tweeting and asking, what is your dream superhero game and which developer would you want to make it? And in his quote tweet, he was trying to get the attention of Bill Roseman. And of course, Bill Roseman, he's the VP and head of creative working over at Marvel Games. He's kind of the face of Marvel Games. He's the one that you'll see the most when Marvel games are announced and talked about. He's usually always there to help promote them. And you know, at first when I saw Troy Baker do this, I thought that he was just kind of poking fun at the idea that, hey, I'm already working on the dream project, considering that he is doing the voice of Bruce Banner in Marvel's Avengers. But then Bill Roseman replies and sends the internet in a frenzy as he replies saying, "You, sir, are clearly a man without fear." And of course, if you're a fan of the comic books, if you're a fan of the character, then you know that term, the man without fear, always refers to Daredevil. Now, before I get into my speculation, let's take it a step further. There was another tweet now that potentially hints at this Daredevil game, as a friend of Troy Baker's quote tweets that same tweet that Troy Baker was talking about the dream superhero game and says, "Somebody please make a Daredevil game." And Troy Baker replies, "Grace, we've talked about this." All right, now let's take a step back here and start speculating. But obviously take in mind that everything I'm about to talk about here is just my speculation, just my personal thoughts. None of what I'm about to say here has any evidence towards it besides what I just showed you. So the first of many things that this could mean is that maybe Daredevil is going to show up in Marvel's Avengers as one of the DLC characters that they have planned for that game, and it'll be voiced by Troy Baker. But then again, the tweet in question is asking about the dream superhero game, and so if they were teasing Daredevil, they wouldn't really be talking about Avengers, as Troy Baker is already working on Avengers. Which obviously brings us to the second of many things that this could mean, and that's that maybe a Daredevil game is in development, and maybe Troy Baker is doing the voice of Matt Murdock. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the case. You know, ever since Spider-Man PS4's massive success, there have been a lot of rumors about Marvel games being in development, which just makes sense. I mean, look at the MCU. After the crazy success of Iron Man, it spawned the Incredible Hulk, Thor, Captain America, and then obviously it all culminates to the Avengers movie. And granted, on the game side of things, they've sort of skipped out on that concept and went straight to an Avengers game, but I think that makes sense. Everyone's very familiar with the Marvel brand now, and everyone's very familiar with the Avengers, so I think it works. And obviously, in a game versus a movie, you have a lot more time to develop each character individually. But I digress. Point is, I think that there is a likely chance that a Daredevil game is in development. But the third thing, and this is something that a lot of people are speculating as well, but again, kind of similar to my first thing of many that this could mean, is that maybe Daredevil is going to show up in Spider-Man PS5. But again, just like what I was saying with Daredevil potentially showing up in Marvel's Avengers, it wouldn't necessarily make sense in terms of a tease for that, because the tweet in question is about your dream superhero game. And if Daredevil is showing up in Spider-Man, it wouldn't be a Daredevil game, it would be a Spider-Man game. But then again, we do see that Nelson and Murdock Easter egg in Spider-Man PS4. So what if Daredevil shows up in Spider-Man PS5 and that's supposed to be like the beginning of the Marvel Games universe? Now that's already kind of started. We see plenty of Avengers Easter eggs in Spider-Man PS4. You know, the tower is there, of course the Sanctum Sanctorum for Doctor Strange, the Wakandan embassy, so there's plenty of little Easter eggs in there to hint at a larger Marvel universe within these games. But how cool would it be if we see a Daredevil side mission in Spider-Man PS5 and then we inevitably get a Daredevil game from that? I think honestly, if I were to choose between him showing up in Spider-Man PS5 in the way that I just mentioned versus him showing up as DLC in Marvel's Avengers, I would 100% choose him showing up in Spider-Man PS5. But then again, this is all just my speculation. None of this is officially confirmed. There hasn't been an official announcement that a Daredevil game is in development. There's a couple of 4chan leaks, quote unquote, out there, but you know 4chan, very hit or miss, so who knows if there's any truth to that, but it does seem like something is being teased here, as a lot of people on Twitter went real crazy after that tweet was sent out by Bill Roseman, so a lot of people agree that something's happening right now, and hopefully in the near future, we'll know what this all means. But until then, I now want to kick it to you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below based on those tweets. What do you think this could mean? Could it mean Daredevil showing up in Marvel's Avengers? Could it mean Daredevil's getting his own game? Or could it mean that Daredevil will show up in Spider-Man PS5 to potentially lead to his own game? Or do you think it just means nothing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and of course, if you enjoyed this video, if you could leave a like rating on it, it shows your support, and I would really appreciate it. I'm Caboose, and you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.